for another First Reaction Thursday Picard review thing, action thing, review something. Words. Words that are difficult and yet sometimes not. Now we're starting a little bit early tonight because there's quite a bit to talk about. We'll see if we can get to everything in the time we have here. So let's just start early. Why not? I know people are probably like, it starts at 10. I'm going to be there at 10. And then I don't miss anything. Now they're going to miss things. But, try to keep it quiet until then. 8 people watching. That's it. Wow, it's usually a lot more to start these things off. Hit that like button anyway. Oh, 15. It's going to jump, hopefully. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. Super chat, super thanks. If you're watching this after the fact, hit a super thanks. If you're watching this now, send a super chat. We want to hear your thoughts on this episode. 17 seconds. All right. Please ignore the sounds of my pugs. If you're not used to them already, what's wrong with you? They're always here. So, all right. Shoot, I guess I better go watch the episode. Don't mind spoilers. If I didn't want, I need to watch it. Yes, go watch the episode, for God's sakes. I do like the crewman uniforms, all black with division color stripes. Yes. Reminds me of those ones in DS9. I'm still watching the episode. Captain on the bridge. This is the most enjoyable season of Star Trek since Deep Space Nine. Rocker, a changeling. Joseph Barbado throws in $5. I spied an actual dolphin phaser in Worf's hand. Also, that Riker flashback uniform was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. We'll put it that way. Yeah, Samuel kind of agrees with you, and so do I. So, I definitely think Riker's a changeling. I don't. When would that have happened? And no, I don't think he's a changeling at all. But I could be wrong. I'll call it now. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he's not a changeling. 7 and 9 should have been back in active duty once battle stations were called. I mean, I don't disagree, but yeah. Hey, how's it going? Overall, this is a fantastic episode. Action-packed, full of stuff. A lot of good reveals. Got a lot of good little moments. And 55 minutes long. That's the way to do an episode. Please and thank you. Yes. And thank you, Chuck. I'm glad you got one as well. And Beverly was actually good in this. I did not think she looked good in the press tours, in the interviews, in the first episode where she's shooting these guys. She just didn't look great. This one, she looked pretty good. They did a pretty good job of making her look good. So kudos to them for that. That looks awesome to see a good Beverly. That was great. And she sounded like Beverly. It was fantastic. So kudos to them for that. And Gates McFadden, good job. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I just didn't think she looked the best going into this season. But, look as good. I will not at that age, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, she very much felt like Beverly, and that was a good thing. She sounded like Beverly. Was she wrong? Yeah, she was wrong for not letting Picard know. I think anyway. I love that Terry Metalis is like, people are gonna comment or ask about that accent, so they just throw in the line of dialogue, just like a fan would. What's with the accent? Easily answered. Although him going to school in London with Picard only being in France at the Vineyard, I think is a little bit awful, honestly, or a lot awful. There's a lot to break down with this one. The Worf stuff was fantastically done. I really enjoyed that. Even Raffi was pretty good in this. There wasn't any really slow spots in this one for me. I think the pacing was good. I love the portal weapon tech. I love that's not actually the big bad weapon that the It was just a diversion for the real weapon, which is going to be lore, I would assume, that was stolen from Daystrom. So let's see. Did you notice the changeling actor is Thomas Dekker? He played Thomas Picard in the Nexus as a boy. I did not know that. Shame they didn't show Riker's Titan in Orbit of Earth. I wanted to be the butt bugs. Changelings is good, and Worf needs his own show. I don't want it to be the conspiracy aliens. I don't know why everybody's fucking got a hard on for the conspiracy aliens. I didn't want that. I don't care that gets wrapped up. That being said, it would have been a nice kind of just circuitous ending to the TNG original cast and crew, or not necessarily crew, but cast, to wrap that up. It would have worked poetically nicely, but I didn't care for it. I didn't give a shit. I didn't want it to be about those bugs. So, did I want to be about changing? Not necessarily that either. But, here we are. So, I don't know. Maybe the changes are working with the conspiracy aliens. Gates felt like Beverly. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to feel her, but I'm sure she probably did. Might be a little bit skinnier now. But Matthew says, yeah, seeing Worf really seals the need for his own show. Too much blue light in the black background. Ernest says that is because Riker's Titan was written. I'm not going to get into that. Kit 10K, yo Cap, I can't stay long and sorry for going off topic, but I read the Star Trek Discovery ending after season 5. If true, what are your thoughts on it? Well, it is true, and I think that's fine. I'm glad they didn't push it to 7 seasons to just outdo TNG. I'm glad that they're kind of like, yeah, that's it, and that's fine. Apparently they didn't know it was going to be the last season, so they are going to call everybody back to do like an epilogue episode or 2. So that's why we're not going to see it till 2024 now, and that's fine. Bye Discovery. Nice knowing you. Dr. Ronslin, $5. I've thoroughly enjoyed the season thus far. The pacing has been great, and I do like the idea of fringe changelings as the baddies. Very good TNG episode, but I guess they went back to what Sam called shitting on Picard writing for a while. Hope it just disappears for the rest of the season. I disagree with that 100%. I don't know where Riker's coming from. He's dealing with his own stuff. It's probably the anniversary of like his son Thaddeus's death, because that would explain why he getting away from Diana and Kestra would be a good thing at this point. And it could be weighing a little bit heavy on his mind, considering how Picard is kind of dealing with his own son issues. But I think telling Picard to leave the bridge was a little bit harsh, and I think that's why everybody's like he's a changeling. I don't think Riker's a changeling. That would be a stupid decision on their part to do. Getting the old cast back together and making him a changeling is just stupid. But the shitting on Picard thing, I made some chamomile tea. Do you take sugar? Beheadings are on Wednesday. That was one of my favorite lines. Don't know why, but I'm getting changeling vibes from Riker this episode. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Everybody is. I'm not. Just because of the last little part of the episode where it's like, if he was replaced by a changeling, it would have been much earlier, and he wouldn't have said half the things he said in the episode. But just because of the last line or two, everybody's like, oh, he's a changeling. He's not a changeling. I'm willing to call that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm saying it right now. I don't think he's a changeling. I think it's just a stupid idea. That changeling effect is pretty cool. I imagine if technology was... Yeah, fuck, the changing effect is awful. It looks like melted meat and fat. It just looked disgusting. The effect from the 90s in 2000 and or in Deep Space Nine. Oh my god, my brain. In Deep Space Nine, I think it looked a lot better. Yeah, it looked a little bit jankier, and you could tell it was CG. But I like the gold, like the goldy kind of color to it. Just the meat blob is fucking disgusting. First of all, who would want to get in the Great Link if that's what it looked like? Just a big puddle of that shit. I didn't like the effect. So yeah. Problem with the CGI ships is guys like Sternbach and Probert had engineering backgrounds who designed things with scale in mind. I can't wait for next week's episode. I know, right? It's also interesting that the nebula is giving off not only energy pulses but also biometric stuff, and it's nothing. It's like nothing they've ever seen before. So they're getting pulled into a gravitational anomaly, and I think it's going to be some kind of life form or something. It's interesting because it's not really a nebula. So yes, it seems like doom and gloom right now. They have no power. They're hurtling towards this gravitational well. There's going to be like something that comes and saves the day, whether it's the anomaly or not. I don't know, but I'm with you, Captain. Fuck them dumb bugs. Thank you, Rashim. Turd Ferguson, do you know how far a Klingon will shove his I do not do that anymore? I know, it's pretty great. Mr. Andrew Alfonso, proof positive that Samuel is to blame for Trekyards' tardiness during lives. Yes, he always is. I'm always on time. I was like 5 minutes early. Samuel is always like, it's okay to be late because, you know, it gives a chance for people filter in. It's like, yeah, but there's a start time. You start at that time. Then you let people filter in. We don't start 5 minutes late. And we always do start late because I'm always waiting for Samuel to get it. Yes, Samuel is the reason that we start late in the regular lives. I'm sorry, but it's true. Worf was tipping off about the changelings by Odo. You were actually on early. Yes. I love being early. Or exactly on time. 96 people here, amazing. 37 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Get the super chats rolling in. I want to hear your thoughts. But yeah, why would he have advised Picard that on his son if he was a changeling this time? I know. No, Riker's just Riker with more baggage, not a changeling. Yep, I agree. Thank you for not making me the only one who hates the new changeling effect. You're definitely not the only one. I think this episode made a really interesting point at the end. Riker had the right tactics for the situation. But I can see how they would both think they were right. But yes, I agree. Riker was probably in a better position. The pacing was awesome. It was. This villain is all business, no monologuing during the fight. Amen. Yeah, they could have done it far better with CGI if they had used the effect from DS9. The changeling now looked like one of the brown slugs in Europe. I thought the subspace weapons were illegal within the Federation and Klingon space. They are. They're isolytic weapons are illegal. That doesn't mean that. And they're also not inside Federation space. That should also be pointed out. However, just because they're illegal doesn't mean that the criminals aren't going to have them. So, the final week. I'm sensing that you're not super stoked about changelings being one of the bad guys this season. Is there any particular reason why? I have no issue with this. I think it's actually a nice twist. I think better than the fucking conspiracy aliens, the conspiracy bugs, in my opinion. So I have no problem with the changelings at all. I just wish they didn't have such a shitty effect for them. Josh Barbado, I'm wondering what the branches of the red color and the red door was all about when Jack was dying. Yes, I don't know. The beheadings are on Wednesday line. Felt like Jadzia's sense of humor is rubbing off on Worf. Yeah. It was sad to see Riker treat Picard that way. Kind of hard to watch. Star Trek Marco says, I've read some theories that Nebula contains the aliens from Encounter at Farpoint, and this is their home they chose. They'll recognize Riker and Picard and help them. That'd be awesome. I had a theory. I thought, oh, that gravitational anomaly thing that they're falling into, that's going to be. Oh, what the hell? Stop. That's going to be Nagilum. But no. What was with Jack and Shaw's conversation? Well, Shaw was like, how are they? He's trying to get a point. Like, how does she keep finding us? And Jack was like, I don't know. I'm sorry that I brought this on you. And the Shaw said again, how is it? They're tracking us somehow, is basically what he's saying. And Jack looks down and sees the pool, the blood trail from Shaw being brought in. He's like, blood in the water. They're tracking us somehow. Peter Lukaku throws in $10. Wrath of Khan episode. Yeah, for sure. You know, I wanted him with me, not gallivanting across the galaxy with his father. Yeah, very much. Yeah. But the difference is Kirk knew about David. He's like, I did what you wanted. I stayed away, you know. So it's a little bit of a different situation, but yes, you got the Matar Nebula situation, and then the sun thing. So I wanted to be the first Worf one-liner tonight, laughing my ass off. Cheeky fecker, this YouTube, not notifying me of my job. Right? Eric Martin. Seems weird that Picard wanted to be aggressive with Riker cautious. Seems reversed in roles. They explain that, though. Picard has his son on board. And I love the episode title is 17 seconds, right? That is the amount of time it took Riker in the turbo lift to get from the bridge of the Titan down to sickbay when his son Thaddeus was being born. An eternity, the longest turbo lift ride he ever had. And then Picard says, and in that moment you became a father. Yep. And then, at the end of the episode, guess what? Jack is in sickbay, dying. Picard hops in the turbo lift, and I timed it. It's just a little over 17 seconds, but it's the same. It's a parallel because during that turbo lift ride, he became a father because when he saw Jack on the bed dying, fantastic acting from Patrick Stewart. Then Jack was fine, and again, fantastic acting from Patrick Stewart. So it's the whole episode is bookended with the moment that Riker became a father and the moment that Picard became a father in their minds with that turbo lift ride, which was 17 seconds. Did you see what I saw? That the aging effect was creepy. Yes, we have a video coming out about that because I did not like the aging effect. This is the best episode of the 3 broadcasts so far. Each episode just seems to be getting better. I just wanted Picard to say butt bugs and Captain Mariner saves the day. Why did it seem like the Titan Alpha has way less firepower than before the refit, the Luna class, the Neo Constitution class? I don't know. There are several DNA references in the end credits. Mysterious biological signs in the nebula and motifs of blood and trails. The red lines fit too. Yes. I thought Seven was using nanites to keep him alive. Probably not. I didn't get that sense at all. Smart Smears. I thought the episode was good, but I felt like the characters are carrying the show, particularly the interplay between Picard and Riker, and Raffi and Worf. Also, Riker is in the right. Thomas says, I noticed a throwaway line in Insurrection that the Sono were involved with the Dominion during the war. Maybe they are also involved. Could be. I'm pretty sure Vadic is not a shapeshifter. So who is she, and how does she tie in with the changelings, right? Changelings were my main guess when Jack made his different faces comment, but I was still surprised that they showed up. What life form readings are they picking up in the nebula? I bet they are communicating with Jack via dreams. Joseph Barbado throws in $2. Captain Shaw isn't dead yet. Hashtag justice for Shaw. I'm sure he'll be fine. The anomaly is the Times Squared anomaly back for Picard. Whatever life form is in the nebula, Vadic seems to be afraid of it as she backed off from the crippled Titan without attempting to capture Jack. Really enjoyed the Star Trek First Contact callback with Berlioz' Les Troyens music with Worf. Yes, same one that Picard was listening to, like blaring. Gibbs, I felt this was an amazing episode. Thanks for always being reliable when you do your reviews. We try. Thank you so much for the compliment as well. Space Thing, The Reckoning. I'm guessing the branches visions Jack had in near-death experience is something the Nebula aliens are trying to show him. Possibly. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $10. I am Worf, son of Moog, House of Martog, son of Sergei, House of Rozhenko, bane to the Duras family, slayer of Gowron. I have made some chamomile tea. Do you take sugar? You forgot to add protectorate or whatever to Jeremy Astor. That should have been in there too. Something about Jeremy Astor, that poor kid. But anyway. Hey, Captain, I don't know if you covered this question, but do you think the Borg would try to assimilate the Founders? I don't think that they would have tried to assimilate the Founders. That would be quite difficult for the Borg, I would imagine. But good question. 137 of you here, which is awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. 66 likes, though. We can do better. We can get up to 120 likes. I know it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And by all means, super chat in. Let us know your thoughts and try to support and help out the channel any way you can. We really appreciate all the help you guys can offer in any of the ways you can offer it, whether it's hitting that like button or, like I said, super chatting in with your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, anything. Help us out if you can. Since it was the Titan, that means 17 seconds is in the same turbo lift. It could be, yeah, exactly. When I first saw the title for this is 17 seconds, I'm like, we're gonna find out about Jack in this episode. So 17 seconds, the amount of time it took for Jack to be conceived. I mean, maybe Picard's a one-pump chump. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the first thought I had, because that's how my mind works. But no, I thought the 17-second thing tied in beautifully with that first, like, Riker's turbolift ride, becoming a father, and then Picard's going down to check on Jack, becoming a father. I thought that was really great. Really well done. I gotta hand it to them. Changeling reveal and links to DS9 got me cheering so hard and totally unexpected. Worf was amazing. Hyped to see TNG crew face the Dominion. Really want a Chief cameo though now. Yeah, having the Dominion now is a good link for DS9 characters coming in. Good chamomile tea. Nice house. At least we know Shaw isn't a changeling. Amen. Eric Martin, time for a ship-wide blood screenings and phaser sweeps. Jason, $5. Not directly related to the episode, but I really enjoy the closing outro a lot better than the original Picard intro. Yeah, it's fucking great. I love the Elcars one for sure. Patrick Stewart, brilliant acting. Worf and Raffi mesh well. They do. Peter Lukaku, $2. Riker is carrying the show. No, I think Worf was doing a fantastic job. Even Michelle Hurd, Raffi's been doing a fantastic job as well, so I don't think that's at all the case. Todd Stashwick as Captain Liam Shaw has been doing an awesome job. I think everybody's doing a fantastic job on that front, so... Paul Hitchcock, is the Titan A underpowered compared to Riker's Titan? It seems like it might be. It does seem like it might be. I honestly don't know, though. Can you guys do an episode that compares the strike with the Vorlon cruiser from Babylon 5? We might. We might be able to do that. Thomas says, I can't understand why the de-aging is so bad compared to the amateur deepfake versions on YouTube. That's another thing that boggles my mind. Cosmo, you would think that if they attack the strike, they fire at least a phaser volley and more than three torpedoes, but okay, for the story, the Titan wouldn't survive that. Yeah, you think, yeah, you'd fire more than just 3 or 4 photons, and you'd fire the phasers as well. I loved that opening the portal though, and having it open behind the Titan and have the come through. I thought that was, you shot yourself in the ass. That's fucking great. Another thing though, when Liam Shaw is on the bridge and he's like, "Go get somebody to look out the aft end for the Shrike," and then later there's a shot of Riker, and you can see the conference room behind him with the windows, and the Shrike was behind them getting ready to fire. Right? It would have been cool if you could see the Shrike through the windows of the observation room or the briefing room behind him. That would have been very cool. Do you think the clip we've seen of Troy yelling at Riker is a changeling trying to manipulate him? Ooh, possibly, yes. Yeah. And by the way, Deanna came off as a super bitch in this episode. Your son vomited. I haven't brushed my hair in 72 hours. It's like, yeah, new parents. I had no sleep. Ah, ha, ha, ha. But she came across as a mega bitch. I'm sorry, but yes, I'm Zadie. I'm on my way. Bring the whiskey. Like, the whole scene, I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway. Not sure why it no longer displayed my nickname here. Oh, Thirst Contact. How you doing? Sergeant Montgomery. It seems like Riker would have requested 709 to the bridge, given she knows the ship better than him or Picard. Yes, that would seem like a thing to do. Nebula, aliens, power race. No, I don't think so. Right color, but honestly, I'm sick of the Nebula. I want them to get out of the Nebula now. It's like, this is feeling like season 2 a little bit, where it's like, they're going to the past. They're only going to be in the past for like 2 or 3 episodes, and then they'll go to the future. It'll be fine. Nope, the whole fucking thing's in the past. I'm getting sick of looking at the Nebula. I want to see space. I want to see like an actual space scene. I don't want to see Nebula anymore. Just please get out of the Nebula. Do you think we'll get a quick answer to the branches and door, maybe next episode, or is it going to drag out? That'll probably drag out for a few episodes at least. Poor Jeremy Astor, adopted by the worst father figure in the galaxy. Before watching Strange New Worlds, I watched Discovery Seasons 1 and Season 2 to get Pike's story. I don't have the time or patience to stop. Watch 7 seasons of DS9, then come back with the backstory. DS9 is the only track I haven't watched. They'll do it in a way you don't have to do that. It won't matter. Fleetpaw, you don't know what you're missing. You really should watch it. You should. It's the best Star Trek series out there. Hi, Cap. I think Riker was out of line talking to Admiral Picard that way in front of all the bridge crew. Absolutely, he was, yeah. Joshua Dworkin throws in $10. Thank you so much, my friend. 2 things from the ending scene that annoy. Number 1, I just don't buy Riker publicly dismissing Picard that way. 2, wouldn't Starfleet torpedoes have an IFF to not lock onto friendly ships? You'd think so. That's the other thing that I kind of thought of too. You need a target lock to launch a torpedo generally. Like, you don't need one, but you would have one on the Shrike, unless the Nebula was interfering and it was just line of sight. But yeah, them all of a sudden going through and seeing a different target, you think they would. First of all, it's lucky that they hit, because even if you don't have a target lock and you're firing in a straight line, 1 or 2 degrees off, and it's like you're gonna miss, right? But it's interesting that they did hit. I thought that was kind of a fun thing, but. Agree with Sergeant Montgomery. Seems odd that Riker didn't take 7 off of her relieved duty status and bring her back to active duty. True. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, commander of starships, admiral, arbiter of succession for the Klingon Empire, Worf's Chadich, and 2 Pump Chump. Oh, that's great. Vada could be a new version of the Vorta, and the minions could be the new Jem'Hadar, per se. That's kind of what I thought, also. This episode was absolutely awesome. Yes. I like the subtle reference to Odo. That was also great. I wish you would have mentioned him by name, but at first I thought that Riker might be a changeling, but the more I think about it, I would change my mind. Yeah, I don't think he's a changeling at all. There was a lot to unpack in this episode. Absolutely. And tomorrow, as a result, we're doing our live starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not 4. We're going to do an extra hour because there is a lot to talk about. Taylor T. A few things in this episode stuck out as weird, but it was pretty good overall. Nice to see the Dominion War get acknowledged, given that it was a massive conflict. Riker was kind of hard on Picard but after watching this episode for the 5th time, I think I get it. Andy Brennan, I'm late, but what was the best episode of Picard so far? But that was the best episode of Picard in all 3 seasons, yes. Bandit MD1, what's the verdict? Awesome episode. Spike Psycho, I really wish they established that Final Frontier animated series they proposed. Enterprise was the square-hulled cruiser. Jalopy, not state of the art. Yeah, it's a weird design, but yeah. Betazoid PMS. She was Syrtis, not Troy. Yeah, exactly. Sergeant Montgomery, weapons officer should have deactivated the torpedoes before impact. A couple of things. Will seemed off, indecisive, no confidence, anger out of nowhere. Also, did he not hear of the Z-axis before? I make that point in our review that's coming up tomorrow. Captain Corky, yeah, that did seem to be a pretty big character shift for Deanna. I thought that the de-aging was done well, much better than the Spiner de-aging in Picard Season 1. Like, yeah. Deanna comes across as exactly like Marina Sirtis. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like Marina Sirtis, honestly. So, I can't really compare the Titans because different formidable enemies, and it's easier to show more weapons on an animated show than live action. Dave Thompson says, Cap, do you have a favorite movie outside of Trek or Wars? A favorite movie? I've got a lot of favorite movies. I can't pick one favorite movie. That's impossible. One of my favorite movies is Excalibur, though. But yeah, I got a lot of favorite movies. So Lore was stolen from Daystrom. Very likely, yes. Dan Bevan, sorry. Now we know Dominion. I'm getting vibes that DS9 episodes where the Dominion tried using the Orion Syndicate to undermine Federation. Also, maybe they broke female changeling out of Daystrom. No, I think what was stolen from Daystrom was lore. I got a pug hair in my eye. As you can see, it's all bloodshot and red, so I apologize if I'm rubbing my eye. They're utilizing the sets that they have as much as possible, being very efficient with their budget. Riker, definitely a changeling? No, I don't think he is. I don't think lore was stolen. Plenty of other Soong-type androids out there now that would be easier to capture. Yes, but not lore, not one that's identical to Data. Peter Lukaku, $2. The Titan's rim windows are way too big. Yes, they are. They were not scaled correctly. They were based on the original Shangri-La class design, which was much smaller, like the size of a Constitution class, and they just scaled it up. And if you ask Terry Metalis, he'll just say they're really big windows, which is bullshit. So, yeah. That's what happens when you scale things up like that. Dustin D, I hope that Captain Shaw will get better. I'm pretty sure he will. I'm pretty sure he'll be around. Brian saves the day in the final episode and thus becomes the greatest officer ever. Sweet Jesus. Riker a changeling, given he's on the outs with wife and daughter? Nah. Paul Hitchcock says, I'm pretty sure it's already been addressed, but is there not a bridge window on the Titan A? There is not a bridge window on the Titan A. No. Thank fucking Christ. Ugh. Chase Williams, I think the confirmation that Jack is Picard's son and the flippant responses Picard gave saying it was immaterial may have made Riker mad. Oh, yeah. Riker lost his fucking son. Picard has just been given a son, and he's like, it's not even fixable. It's irreparable damage to our relationship. I'm not going to even talk to him. And, of course, that would piss off Riker. Torpedo self-guided and steerable. Doubt they have IFF systems. Namely, remember, Prometheus shot a Defiant accidentally. That's true. Changelings do not bleed. Easy to find them. To find it. Changelings do not bleed. Easy to find it. Or them if there are more of them on the ship. Eric says maybe Riker will decompress the main shuttle bay and get them out of the nebula. Please pass it back $2. New first contact style uniform, not sold on it. That's fucking ugly. Uber Newman, the younger CGI used on Picard in the flashbacks was a bit jarring. Better than the X-Men de-aging they did like in 2007, but yeah. I think Riker was so hard on Picard because he was trying to make sure Picard never feels the loss of a son. That would explain a lot. I totally agree with you there, Chase. 100%. Daniel Vance, the song 7 was listening to, yes, it's the same one as Picard was listening to in First Contact. Armando Rodriguez, I wonder if anyone who has chased Beverly Crusher and her son will be changelings. Vadic is terrifying in this one. How she's just like, again, when firing at the Titan. The changeling reveal explains how Vadic knew about everyone in the last episode. Yeah, I got somebody on the inside. Tony Sussex, is the portal weapon only useful in a nebula? Wouldn't ships be able to warp away? It's not only useful in a nebula, but I only started DS9 when the Dominion War started and did enjoy the rest of it. Changelings looked way better in that. Could it be because they have stayed human too long? No. There's a episode where Odo has to stay in his solid form. Garrick actually is kind of torturing him. And his skin gets very dry and desiccated, and it kind of starts peeling off like a mummy almost. So it's the exact opposite of what we saw in this one. So, no. Do you think we could see a flashback of the Enterprise E and crew during the Dominion War? Possibly. I doubt it, but possibly. Thomas says, I'm on the fence about Riker being a changeling, but it would explain the writing decision to not have Deanna with him, as she's since it wasn't him. That's a good point, yeah. With all the callbacks to the Wrath of Khan, this has me thinking there's probably going to be a callback at the end of Khan and a possible death of one of the TNG crew members. Nice haircut, by the way. Thank you, Eric. Worf is listening to the same opera music Picard was in First Contact. Yes, he is. Taylor T. Riker's de-aging looked okay for the most part. Picard's wasn't nearly as good. It was something about his eyes. It looked like he was wearing a skin suit or something. It was just too smooth. We actually did a video on it where we look at it in quite a bit of detail. It's kind of creepy. So, second time Seven chimed in over the comm saying she figured it out again when in Finding Jack, and 2, hey, I found the tracking problem. I did love Worf's casual costume and makeup, yes. Seasons 1 and 2 felt like it had so much crap action and lame and non-informative dialogue. This season has the perfect amount of action and very important dialogue. Much better this season. I will not disagree with that. Riker's uniform in flashback just doesn't make sense. No, it's also ugly. If a character dies this season, I'm thinking it will be Picard. No resurrection for him. Look into the eyes of the dragon and despair. Merlin in Excalibur. Yes. Colin Barrett. Just as well Troy was not around, she would have crashed the Titan into the Shrek. And everyone dead, the series would be over by now. Bradley Thomas throws in $10. Are the changelings trying to restructure the Dominion with an all inorganic hierarchy? Whatever now. That word. Fuck's sakes. Laura is the new Vorta with holographic foot soldiers replacing the Jem'Hadar. I am not less perfect than Laura. Daystrom might have been the genetic information for augments. Dan Bevan says, "Gotta hand it to Shaw. I love the fact that they actually used the windows on the ship when the sensors went down. That made me chuckle because, of course, you'd do that, but hasn't been done in Trek before." Yeah. If they ever make another Kelvin timeline movie with Anton Yelchin dead around, they do the three-armed guy from the animated series. Lieutenant Eric's. Yeah, the Endosian. That'd be great. I wonder if Riker is having a PTSD moment. I would not be surprised. How amazing would an appearance of Jeffrey Combs would be? Fantastic. Yes, please get Jeffrey Combs back. The Riker Picard feud on the bridge is reminiscent of all good things. Yeah, 100%. Jason, $2. I enjoyed Seven's model of Voyager in her courtiers. In her quarters, yes. Like I said, CGI ships are exclusively designed on computer. Few scale designs take into consideration. Everyone gets a break on the bridge after 36 hours, except the Vulcan. The one changeling on board, the Titan, is wearing a yellow engineering security Starfleet uniform. Do you think we will get new Dominion ships, possibly in a flashback? No. Riker's flashback uniform, they are so close. Why not just use the actual First Contact uniform? I know, right? I agree. With the emergency on the Titan, would have been a perfect chance to activate the EMH. Ooh, yeah, it would have been great to see an EMH. Best episode of Picard, period. Even Raffi was good this week. I will not disagree with that either. I think Riker is sick of dying. Is sick and dying. This is the end, John Luke. Oh, maybe he is like got some disease, and that's why he's been down on himself, and that's why Deanna. Oh yes, this is the end. Ooh, oh, maybe Riker's the one that's dying. Maybe Riker will die. Maybe you're onto something there. That moment between Picard and Beverly was the hardest moment of acting I've seen him do in years. It was great. It was fucking awesome. Peter Lukaku, $5. So was the DS9 connection? So was that the DS9 connection, or will there be more? I'm sure there'll be more. Lore, definitely the Daystrom tech taken by Changelings. Descent Part 3 must be coming. Hope they go to DS9. I'd love to see it again. Oh, that'd be awesome, yeah. Now, I think Riker says this, and this is the end because Picard got them where they're heading to their death. They'll probably get out of the gravity well. Oh, yeah, it could be that too. Yeah, this is the end. We're going to the gravity well. Something's going to happen to get them out. For sure. I like that too. I like all these ideas. You guys are awesome. Agreed with others that Lore is the stolen tech from Daystrom. Also wonder if Moriarty will be introduced and try to stop Lore, as he was created to be an opponent capable of defeating Data. Will Wheaton's Ready Room featured Jonathan Frakes today, and it had a nice teaser for the end of episode 4. Titan survived, but is fighting being pulled deeper into the gravity well. Cannot wait for next week. If they kill someone off, my bet would be Lore or Picard again. I can see them killing Picard again. I've been saying that for a while now, but yeah. Captain Corky, I think an appearance by Jeffrey Combs would be awesome, but if I'm not mistaken, it would be as Wayun because Garrick killed the last clone in the last episode of DS9. It doesn't have to be Wayun. Since Jack was conceived after Locutus, she got some Borg in him. That would explain the weird hallucination. Could. Chris Barbara Williams, do you think the nebula is some kind of space worm like in Star Wars? It's some kind of living thing. I don't think it's a worm, though. But if the Titan doesn't blow up and turn the nebula into a new planet, I'm done with this. Even though Worf shouldn't have white hair, I must admit the look is growing on me. I'll let it slide. Hair, you can make whatever color you want. Maybe he wanted white hair. I wonder if the crystalline entity is part of the storyline. Why else would there be a secret weapon besides his somewhat limited knowledge of Enterprise crew. Oh, for lore, yeah. Will Trekyards be hosting Wednesday night beheadings? Maybe, yeah. The only acceptable TNG death would be Thomas Riker. Who should be the first to be beheaded, Sergeant? Wow, you guys are awful. Want to see a Pandronian Starfleet personnel? Okay. They said they were going to tie in DS9, and boy, did they ever. I think Riker is a changeling. Yeah, I don't. So, how come when a founder impersonated someone specific? How come when a founder impersonated someone specific, but when 00? What? Eye of Anna would be better for Riker and Picard to just have hair dye rather than de-aged and look oddly Chinese and have black eyes. Agreed. Eye of Anna, how did you get a moderator wrench? Frakes is not keen on acting anymore. Killing of Riker would make sense from that point of view. Peter Lukaku, $10. I still want a future Trek show to revert to models like the movie Interstellar did. Practical models still beat CGI. Sorry, Sam. An excellent Picard episode directed by Jonathan Frakes. Not a mere coincidence. I was hoping the Bluegills would be back. No, I wasn't. I'm glad they're not. Love Worf's mentioning of Odo and Raffi. Yes. Daystrom better have done an inventory after the theft and better hope it's not beheading Wednesday when Worf gets there. Wow. I am thinking SOS message went through and Geordi shows up in the Enterprise to save the day. He won't show up in the Enterprise. He's going to show up on the other ship that we see in the trailers that has some nacelle damage, would be my guess. Moriarty is the stolen tech from Daystrom. That's another theory for sure, yeah. Is the Nebula of the TOS the immunity syndrome amiibo? Ooh, interesting. Probably not, but interesting. How awesome would it be to get a Trek 3 style return of the Titan to space stuff? That would be fantastic. Unless there's more than one changeling on the ship, unless there's more than one changeling on the ship, Riker isn't a changeling. He's on the bridge while the sabotage is occurring. Yes. I liked Worf's titles, and then he offered tea. Next, he'll have Raffi on prune juice. Taylor T. Whatever is going on in the Nebula reminds me of the Voyager episode Haunting of Deck 12, where they accidentally take aboard some type of energy-based life form. I definitely don't buy Riker as a changeling. It was PTSD or trauma. Just feel Diana would be able to sense that, even if she can't fully. Why risk it? Not sound tactically. I have so missed Worf's deadpan style, says Eric. Yes. Next episode, the Cerritos comes in for the save. Oof. So Lore dies at the end of this season, saving the ship. That'd be interesting. Dave Thompson says, how many different characters has Jeffrey Combs portrayed in his Trek career? Like 8? Something like that. NZ Fade. Picard will fix it with Riker, but he can understand why Riker is angry and listen to him and then backfired. As all he wanted to do was run. Let's be honest, if the Titan had self-sealing stem bolts, she'd be in much better shape. That's true. Zachary Gibbons, I think it would be funnier if Worf said beheadings. That's not till Tuesday to time generations. I thought the same thing. I thought Tuesday would have been much funnier. I would love an exploration on what happened on those Dominion ships that disappeared in the wormhole by the Prophets. There is a Star Trek Online story that finishes that story. So, Matt Boardman, nope, practical does not equal better. I will die on that hill. Do we get a Prophet's intervention? Maybe. Eric Martin, I would immediately order that everyone move about the ship in pairs, only to try to slow down the changeling, slow the changelings down. That's why you're captain. That's why you're captain of the. What are you? The Kushu. Yeah. Cameron Keane, $2 Australian. What if Riker and Picard's fight is all a plan? But why? Who are they? For the to fool one of the changelings that's on the bridge, maybe. When did they come up with the? I don't know. Maybe. It's happened before, so. Peter Lukaku, $10. So you heard rumors that the Shrike is Cardassian and Vadic has ties to changelings. I did not hear rumors of any of those things. Would be nice if lore evolves into data. That would be cool. Commander Shepard, do you think we will see the Enterprise G in the end? Yes, possibly. Paul Hitchcock, do you think we'll see or hear Rene Benoit as Odo archive CGI footage? I don't think they'll do that. I think they would have done that for this one if they were going to. But you never know with the changing story. Who's to say? Matt Boardman, practical is better than bad CG, but you'll never convince me it's better than the stuff like in The Mandalorian. Eric Martin, I think Vadic may save the Titan because of Jack. Colin Barrett, it was interesting that Shaw transferred command of the Titan to Riker and not Picard. I wonder what that was about. Because Picard's a fucking ancient old admiral, and what Riker is still an active captain and was the previous captain of the Titan, so that makes the most sense. Dan Bevins says, think Geordi is pissed because from his point of view, Picard and Riker hijacked a science ship and took it into reckless danger with his daughter on board. He's angry they endangered her. I would totally buy that 100%, yes. Zachary Gibbons, I totally understand why they called the episode 17 seconds when Picard went into the turbolift to check on Jack. Yep, it ties in with Riker's thing at the beginning, so. The Renee, the Shrike is Romulan. There is concept art for it. It's not Romulan, though, Renee. We've talked to John Eves about this, and we covered this in our last live. Yes, there's concept art for it, but that was just the early stages. It is not a Romulan design. There is a Romulan-esque design in the concept art, but there's also one that's very Borg-like. There's quite a few different concepts for the Romulan design, or for the Shrike. So it is not a Romulan design, Renee. So, Chase Williams, I don't know. When Picard removed himself from the bridge, the look in his eyes was like he lost his best friend. Oh no. NZ Fade, the only thing I don't like is the sets are very, very, very dark. I mean, it makes the older characters more slimming, but it would be nice to be able to see the sets. I totally agree. I think everybody's on board with you on that one. Michael Davis, the actor that played Odo, hated the role and the fans. I don't know about that, but okay. Joseph Barbado, I like the interaction between Crash LaForge and Seven, seeing how she did her own thing and didn't become an engineer. Mr. Captain 93, with all of the underworld spying, it would be awesome if Worf went and got Garrick. Oh, bring Garrick in. Yes, please. That'd be amazing. Data is dead, done, gone, but lore will evolve. Fleetpaw says, Jeffrey Combs has played 19 different characters in Star Trek. There are some different iterations of the same, like Wei Yun clones and Mirror Universe version of Brunt, but still 19 characters. Well, there you go. There's the official word from our head researcher and historian, Fleetpaw Swiftback. Mr. Captain 93, loved Worf saying he was the slayer of Gowron. Curtis S. says, was hoping for a conspiracy, but DS9 tie-in is good. I was not hoping for this conspiracy. I can't believe all the people that were so stoked for the conspiracy bugs. It's funny to me. NZ Fade. I did like that they noticed it's not a bounty hunter ship. It was a battleship they're fighting. Paul N. says, so the portal device is stolen from the Daystrom Institute and used to cover the theft and activation of lore. Calling it here. Everybody said that, though, Paul. Bert Defect says, are there rumors of Annika getting her own series? Probably somewhere, sure. Hey, Dot, don't do that. Don't chew on that. Oh, dogs are funny. Joseph Barbato, what the heck is number one? What the heck is number one? The dog? Number one was the dog in season one, but yeah. They could have saved some money by letting Jeffrey Combs play all the alien characters this season. Radio says the Titan moves so slowly, leaving the nebula. Eric Martin, given the Wrath of Khan vibe, I wonder if someone will sacrifice themselves to get more engine power back online. Ooh, there you go. Ozzy says Worf drinks prune juice, Warriors drink. Kestrel, 1980. It was waiting for Riker when he took command to say, computer, lights. That would have been awesome, actually. Dave Thompson, has anyone had Romulan ale or Vulcan ale? Not lately, no. Slath, Space Marine. I wonder what Gene would think about Vadic smoking. Who cares, really? You got to remember that in the motion picture, in Star Trek II, there are no smoking signs in the transporter rooms. So that's when Gene was around. So, smoking was still a thing in the future. There was just no smoking in the transporter rooms. So I think it's fine. I did like the portal technology, just made them look stupid. LOL, let's outrun it, end up at the start, then redirect its torpedoes. Done. What else are they going to do with it? Not much, I don't think. I'm stationed on the Protostar this week if you need anything researched and historized. Renee said, not with the changes happening at Paramount Plus. Future Trek is not certain. Renee, relax. It's fine. Discovery's being canceled. This is fifth season. They're actually going back to film an epilogue for it. This whole the future's not certain in Star Trek is just a bullshit article. They're getting rid of, Picard's, this is the last season for it, unless they're going to do a spin-off show, which they probably are. Discovery's done. It's fine. That's good. Fine. Strange New Worlds isn't going anywhere. Lower Decks isn't going anywhere. Prodigy's not going anywhere. Prodigy has a season 2 coming out. Season 3 is not confirmed yet, but yeah, I don't think there's any fear there, Renee. Slath, the Space Marine. This is just like watching Chapter Master of Valrek, but a Star Trek version. I have no idea what any of that means, so. Maybe they should retire 1701 like athletes, give a new number. Even Packles wouldn't tell the difference. Well, the Titan does have a Vulcan science officer to sacrifice in the engine. That's true. James Doohan has played more characters in Trek than any other actor. That's also true, especially voice roles. Yeah. Dan Bevan, hope I don't sound harsh here, but really, really hated Crusher's reasoning during that argument. Carol Marcus was totally believable. Plus, like you said, Kirk knew. Jack being total secret is unacceptable. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I wouldn't mind a Titan spin-off with Shaw and Seven and a more episodic like Strange New Worlds. That'd be great. Peter Lukaku, $5. So my mom, being the biggest Trek fan, told me, when did Picard have time in TNG to get slippery with Crusher? To get slippy? They explain that. It's after Nemesis. It's 20 years ago, right before Beverly left the Enterprise. And like they said, too, they broke off their romantic relationship 5 times. So they've been off and on multiple times. You could probably see some of it in TNG when they're having like breakfast together all the time, stuff like that. Like there's got to be some shenanigans going on there. So Come on, guys. Let's help the captain hit over 100 likes. Yes, please do. We're way over 100 likes. We're 123 right now. So 219 of you here. That is also amazing, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. But hit that like button. With 219, we should have at least 150, maybe 180, maybe 200 likes. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Even if you don't like me, I don't care. Just hit the like button. Just because there's nothing else to do but sit there and watch me. So hit that like button while you're waiting. Keep the super chats coming. They're helping out immensely, and we really appreciate that. And consider joining the channel, because you can be part of our fleet and get assigned to a ship and have a whole bunch of cool perks and stuff as well. So check out the perks on the join button down below. Gene didn't like a lot of roads that Trek took. He was like Lord Lucas. It was his child and his vision. Not everyone can share a vision. But it got so much better when the reins were taken out of his hands. You know, I never noticed the no smoking signs. I'll have to rewatch that now. Go watch. There's no smoking signs in the transporter room. In Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, and the motion picture. So, odds of Bashir showing up as part of Section 31. No, I'm just going to stop reading that right there. Fleet Pass says, I wanted to ask you, does Tavine, the Vulcan science officer, sound like the annoying lady from Bridge Crew, the one that gives you ship status reports? No, I never really considered that. What's your theory about Jack's vision? I have no idea. I don't have a theory about it right now. Stephen Denevy says, I just heard you fart. No, that's my fucking dogs, jackass. I've got 2 pugs and a chihuahua. The pugs are always making snoring sounds, and it sounds like farts, and I fucking hate that. That is one of my pet peeves. Oh, I heard you fart. That's so funny. Yeah, I know. It's my dogs. So, yeah. Do you think Riker overreacted at Picard? Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, yikes. Jack Crusher looks 40. It's not like he's such a great actor. They couldn't have recast. I think 20 is fine. The fact that she was smoking is a hint. I think she's a Mocklin. New Trek is coming. People love embracing negativity. I know they do. Captain Foley looks younger than Jack. Really? No, I don't, honestly, but that's funny. NZ Fate, I stopped watching Discovery. It just got worse and worse and worse. I'm glad they gave Picard the great writers this season, as the last 2 weren't good. They need to pay for the best writers. I don't like Discovery. It's rough and coarse and irritating, and it gets everywhere. When did they announce about Discovery? Earlier today. Any interest in the new Playmates Prodigy action figures? Yes, I want to get them. And there's a Protostar coming, which I'm super excited about. Want to believe some Bridge Crew cast on Enterprise G show, but not optimistic. Enterprise show added while Strange New World's still running. Let's see. With Discovery ending, that may open up things for the Section 31 series, for better or worse. Could possibly be the case, yeah. Discovery could be more seasons if done right. Maybe Terry Metalis got a new job at Discovery Season 6. Aye, Captain, rewriting power from the main deflector to the like button. Thank you so much. 145. We're 5 away from 150 now, so hit that like button. Geordi probably shows up to have the day next episode, but I really wonder how Deanna comes into this. Any ideas? I have no idea. That's the thing. I don't know how she's going to get involved, how they're going to pick her up. I don't know. That's unless she's with Geordi. Unless literally she goes to Geordi saying, look, Will took off. He's probably with Picard, knowing him, jackass. And then they get the SOS, and they're like, oh, shit. And then, yeah, she's going to be on the same ship as Geordi. if Geordi comes. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Peter the Cocko, $10. This being the last season, what do you hope for coming from this franchise? A good send off for the TNG crew, one that they deserve, because Nemesis was not it. That's it. Just a good send off. Paula and Michael Okuda said something telling. He is now looking forward to watching Star Trek again. Ironic coming from a lefty. What the fuck does that mean? Trek is a cash cow. They're just now learning how to exploit. Yes. Colin Barrett. I have several people who worked on TNP say that the movie lost its way as Gene seemed to have forgotten what makes Star Trek work. Yes. We love dog sounds. Dogs are life. Indeed. Orp and Raffi will form the core crew of Section 31. CJ O'Neill gifted 5 Trekyards memberships. So thank you, CJ O'Neill. 5 Trekyards memberships. 5 Trekyards memberships. Welcome. So Joseph Barbato, Alex Graham, Joseph Barbato, Alex Graham, Sean O'Sullivan, Yvette Jeanette, and Snozig. Thank you for the... or thanks CJ O'Neill for the membership, and welcome to the channel. You are now ensigns. You will be listed on ships at the end of videos. So check out this week's videos coming out, and next week, this weekend and the following week. My God, I can't speak. At the end of the videos, there will be the fleet, the Trekyards fleet, and you guys will be listed on the ships where they get randomly assigned to ships, and you get to see what ship you're serving on. So thank you so much, CJ O'Neill, for gifting that. That is amazing. NZ Fade says, I guess the question really is, if the end game was for the ship to be sucked into a gravity well, what are they falling into, and why does she want the ship to fall into it? I don't think she wants the ship to fall into it. It's just the way it's happening. Manx36, I love Trek. Very little time for new Trek, old Trek, war nonsense. It's all Trek, and I want it all. I want it all. Yeah. If it's anything to do with DS9, it must be a wormhole. If it gets a spin-off, Jack and Seven and Crash, it'll be several years in the future to make Jack's real-life age more fitting. Chaplin, Jack looks 20 just as much as Luke Perry looked 18 in 90210. They are both pushing 35. Major forehead wrinkles. Who cares? Hard life and all that. Out there helping all the people that needed help. Something is off with the Picard and Riker back and forth. We'll get more into it. Info to vindicate Picard's decision to fight. Is there going to be another Kelvin movie? Probably not. I wonder if Michelle Hurd will go over to Section 31 show with Ralphie being intelligence. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. Eric Martin says, even if Riker didn't like Picard's advice, Riker is the captain and the responsibility for orders are his alone. He didn't have to take the advice, and it's number one's job to point out alternatives. Exactly. I like the guy who plays Jack Crusher. He was in Downton Abbey. Yes. I think Terry Metalis needs to be put in charge of all Trek. I agree. Troy is going to be a psychic projection to Will because he is about to die, and she wants to yell at him one more time. Oh my God. I really want to see Frakes do the Riker maneuver at least once when he sits, but it might be more difficult for him now. Yeah, I think it would be very hard for him now. There were some amazing shots of the Titan in this episode. Yes, Mr. Captain, I totally agree. I do think Discovery jumped the shark. I'm just struggling to determine where it jumped the shark, as it was several points that fit the bill. It fucked itself in season 1, so... Between Terry Metalis, Mike McMahon, and the Prodigy guys, Trek is in good hands. Just keep it away from Akiva Goldsman. Yes, I agree with that. Jason, I haven't heard a good Calypso tie-in a long time. This is clearly the answer for the ending. I hope so. I hope the ending of the season is just putting the Discovery where it needs to be for Calypso to happen. In one of the trailers, it looks like Deanna and Riker are on Vadic's ship. Maybe she comes into it because Vadic kidnaps her. Could be. Grant McGregor, $5. 8 out of 10, but it feels off when I look closer. It feels like a 7 out of 10, but parts of this hit the bar wanted. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, let's try this again. 8 out of 10, but it feels off when I look closer. It feels like a 7 out of 10, but parts of this hit the bar wanted. Also have a feeling the real Riker is dead. No, they're not going to have killed the real Riker. That's just fucking stupid. For a TNG reunion show where you're getting everybody back together and, it was never really Riker, it was a changeling. That's just not happening. I'm sorry. Lower Decks has, in my view, been one of the most refreshing and lighthearted new additions to Trek in years, ripe with references and Easter eggs. It's perfect for anyone new to Trek or a longtime fan. That's a great definition for Prodigy, or for Lower Decks. I mean, actually Prodigy as well. Now that I think about it, but yes. Captain, any interest in the Playmobil Bird of Prey? I mean, I don't want to pay for one. I don't think it's worth the money, but I mean, if I can find a way to get one, absolutely, yeah. Titan falling towards the anomaly, some kind of countdown till structural integrity failing around the 3-second mark. A tractor beam engages. This is Commodore LaForge and the Starship Challenge. It's going to be something like that, I think, yes. Peter Lukaku, $5. The spin-off will be Star Trek Titan with Shaw Crew. That'd be fantastic. I think Beverly seemed really disconnected and confused. Do you think it is a conscious character decision? I didn't think that at all, actually. This was the one episode where Beverly, I think, felt on point. The first episode with her shooting, I thought she looked atrocious. All of the interviews and promotional stuff leading up to this, Gates McFadden just does not look good or healthy, which is sad. But this episode she looked good. She seemed to be kind of on point. So, why do people keep asking, is there going to be another Kelvin movie? No, very likely not. What if the Nebula is actually a faction of changelings that broke away from the Great Link, adapted in space and formed a link in space, since the Nebula is an anomaly with bioradium? That's interesting. Michael Durbin, what do you think of Worf's white hair and full mustache? I like it, but I also think for a Klingon it's a little young to have all white hair, for fuck's sakes. I don't really like the look. I prefer it if it was gray, honestly. The all white is a little bit odd, and the full mustache, don't like it. I wish he would have just had the corner pieces like he had all along. But people can choose to have white hair. It's just Worf's character's choice to have white hair. I don't see a problem. It's not like he's aged any other way. He's not full of wrinkles. He doesn't look like ancient. He's perfectly fine. Maybe he had radiation poisoning. That's why his hair is white. Like, there's reasons that his hair could be white that aren't like because he's old. So I don't see the problem. I really don't. I think it's so funny seeing people comment on that kind of shit. Verpine throws in $5. Enjoying Picard season 3. Happy with my "what the hell are you doing" complaints have turned into "this is good" with minor gripes. Yeah, that's a good summation. Yeah. Prodigy has been one of the greatest surprises, not only in Trek, but TV overall. Yes. Only one changeling on the Titan A. We know what 4 can do on a planet, but still, more than one might make sense on a ship. Yes, Riker's not a changeling. Right. Yeah, I agree. Sir Dork says, "Hey, Captain, I can't stay long. I'm on break. Just wanted to say hi. Stop by and say hi. Well, hi, and hit like while you're here. And enjoy the rest of your work day." It will be a new life form that rescues the Titan. That'd be interesting. Would have been nice if there was a movie with a Star Trek Enterprise cast, but won't happen. Maybe Gates is just old. She seems really not like at all Beverly to me, except when she was tending to the injured. Yeah, I mean, she hasn't felt like Beverly to me either. There's quite a few moments in this one where she did, though. She sounded like Beverly. She kind of had a strength about her. But overall, yeah, I agree with you. She doesn't seem like Beverly. And a lot of that for me is just prejudice based on, like I said, the promotional stuff they've been doing and the interviews and stuff leading up to this, the panels. She just seems weak and frail and fragile. Plus, I've seen pictures of her when she visited the sets in Ticonderoga, and she is just a skeleton. She is just skin and bone, and it's sad to see. So, but yeah, I think she did pretty good in this episode. So, don't know if it's true or not, but someone on Facebook Discovery is coming to an end. Yes, it is true. Season 5 will be the last season. My older brother had white hair in his early 40s. There you go. Worf is going to convert Raffi back to the male team. To the male team. What do you mean? Bradley Thomas. Foley, did you like this episode better than the first two? Yeah, I think I did. I liked the length of it. I liked the pacing. I liked how much was packed into it. I thought it was very, very well done. Better than the first two. I think it might be in the middle. I think I might have liked the second episode a bit more than this one, but I'd have to think about that. Didn't they say a sovereign class, not the E though? It's supposed to play a big part in this season. Maybe it will swoop in and save the Titan. Nothing was said about playing a big part. The question on Twitter was, will the Enterprise E be in this season? And Terry Matalas said, not the E, but a sovereign, which we see a lot of sovereigns. There's some escorting the Enterprise F in the trailer. So you're going to see sovereigns. And that's basically what Terry said. You're going to see a sovereign or more. But it's not going to play a big part. Do you think the changelings are trying to kidnap Jack to get the last piece of Picard's DNA? I don't know. I don't know what the purpose is to get Jack. Folks are putting human sensibilities on Worf's hair. He killed a room full of people. He's not old, and he'll behead anyone who thinks so. That's hilarious. Fleetpaw, the white hair thing doesn't bug me. Being a diplomat probably aged him quite a bit. Not fond of the full mustache, but Worf looks good. Fucking amazing, actually. I think he meant to say fucking instead of ducking. But Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Throws in $5 Australian, so thank you so much. Greetings from down under. The Overlord paid me to say that Star Trek cartoon is great. At the Star Trek cartoon. Which one? Lower Decks or Prodigy? By the way, guys, we have 160 likes with 204 people here. First of all 204 of you, thank you for being here. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss anything. We got a lot of great content coming out this weekend, as well as our live full review and breakdown of this episode tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're subscribed, click the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of that. And by all means, consider joining the channel. There's a join button down there. But right away, let's hit that like button, all 202 of you. Let's try to get those likes up to 180. I think we can do that. 180 would be awesome. This is your call to action, guys. Hit that like button. And by all means, consider joining the channel. As I said, lots of cool perks and fun things that get included with every episode now. You get to see your name in lights at the end of the episode. You get to see what ship you're assigned to. You get to join the Discord server where you can hang out with your crew of your ship, as well as us on the Discord server as well. And a lot of fun stuff over there. So yes, please consider looking at the options for joining the channel. But if you're not able to, super chat in is another great way to support us and show your support. Or if you're watching this after the fact, please hit that super thanks button. Appreciate that as well. We're at 169. We're only like 11 away from 180. Let's hit that like button. Thoughts on season 5 being Discovery's last? I think that's perfect. Good. Awesome. The beginning of episode 2 confused me about the relationship between Starfleet and the Fenris Rangers. Do the Fenris Rangers work for Starfleet? I thought they worked outside of Starfleet. They do work outside of Starfleet. They kind of fill in the gaps that Starfleet can't get to. So, Colin says, I gave up scoring this season. I'm giving every episode a 10 out of 10 for the next episode to be even better. Yeah. Spike Psycho, I'm sure sovereigns replace galaxies in droves. Colin Barrett, Worf's white hair turned white when he realized he nearly married Troy. Jesus Christ. Slaith, the Space Marine. Worf will always be remembered through Klingon poetry as the warrior who slew the unnamed Ferengi half his size. Any idea who the Shrike crew in the spooky hockey masks are? No idea. Absolutely not. I don't think they're changelings. I don't think Vadic is a changeling. I don't know who they are or how they tie in with anything. They're obviously working with the changelings, but I don't think they are. Bradley Thomas says, I don't know what the Gates is going through. She could be sick of acting despite the fact the actresses playing the Borg Queen last season was probably acting well sick as well. Joseph Barbado, the lowly ensign here would like 169 likes just because. Chaplin says, so I didn't know that Gates had been ill. Bless her. She is such a great part of Star Trek. I don't know if she's been ill officially. I don't know that, but she just looks like she's not well. So much respect for Michael Dorn as an actor. It's been 20 years and he's stepped back into the character like it was yesterday. Amazing performance. The guy is a legend. Peter Lukaku, chicken nuggies from Mickey D's. Those sound good. The Ferengi was in his way. He put his life at risk himself. Season 2 of Discovery should have been his last. Bradley says, you don't know what Gates is going. No, I don't know what I'm not attacking her. I just think she looks kind of sickly and ill, and I feel bad for her. I would just wish, I want to see her project like more. I want her to be better and healthier. I'm not attacking her at all. David Knowles, I do wonder how a changeling could function on a Federation starship or any facility. Surely you have implemented regular Polaron emitters to disable and expose any change. You would think so, wouldn't you? I wonder if the guy who was watching Riker and Picard in the bar in episode 1 was a changeling. Very likely, yes. Starfleet tends to get complacent. That's true. Dr. Crusher is looking more like a Gelfling from Dark Crystal Net. Ooh, that's awful. Classic for real. I have good information that what's going to save the Titan Enterprise in episode 4 is 200 likes on this live stream. We're at 178. We're almost there, guys. Another 22 likes. I gotta do math. Hurts my brain. I'm going to have to learn how to figure out Discord now, I guess. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Discord, but I've been learning it because it's kind of a great way to interact with you guys. So, is it just me? Who's tired of the outrage that Worf beheaded Sneed? This guy wasn't a petty thug or comical Ferengi character. He was a ruthless syndicate leader, probably responsible for countless deaths. Yeah, I don't know why people are complaining about him beheading him. I thought it was perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm kind of sick of the complaining too. Sorry I had to go for a bit. Do we think Vadic's ship is of Dominion origin? If she is, since herself a changeling, or is it more likely an independent design hired by changeling? I don't think it's a changeling design or a Dominion design ship at all, honestly. I think a green portal will open and the Titan will be saved by Rick and Morty. Yeah, I have to agree with whoever said Discovery should have ended after season 2. Chaplin says, wow, glad she made it and is able to be part of the show. What a lovely lady. Matthew Ripper, before they fired the weapon, didn't they know that the enemy's portal will fire the weapon into the ship? Well, yeah, but they didn't know that they were going to launch the portal to make their weapons hit their own ship. Discovery will be remembered for having huge potential that ended up consistent disappointment. So if you want information on episode 4, we got to hit 200 likes. Come on, crew. We can do it. Chase, look at this. Chase is doing awesome. 15 more likes, guys. I don't think Ace McFadden is 6. I think she aged more in the last few years, and maybe because we haven't seen her acting in major roles. Peter Lukaku, $5. Gates seems desperate and without confidence. That's what set the crusher off for me. Terry Metellus must be a fan of the game Portal. Worf did Sneed a favor, with Sneed being named after Captain Hook's lackey and all. He doesn't even have a red beanie. And he had small ears. He had small lobes. His lobes weren't good for business. He didn't have a lobe for business, is what I mean. When is the journey going to be released? When is To the Journey going to be released? I don't know. What is that? Sounds like a documentary. Oh, that's for Voyager. I don't know, actually. That's a good question. The Ferengi died in battle, therefore his death is more honorable than anything he had done in his miserable life. Beheading is the worst kind of execution reserved for only the most despicable of criminals in backward societies. Others should be arrested and have a fair trial. We're not going to argue the benefits of the whatever. I can't even think of words right now. The merits of corporal punishment. If Steve Martin can have white hair at the age of 32, then Worf can have white hair. Heard Mr. Dorn agreed to the white hair because of a portrayal of a white-haired samurai in a Japanese movie. Yes, that is true. We need an edit of the Titan exiting a portal into Venture's Endgame. What the hell is happening with Resurgence, says Peter Lukaku with $5. It's coming out in April. That's what's happening with it. Uber Newman says, Verpine, I am not a wild and crazy guy. That's funny. Let's see. Official transmission, Starfleet Command, crew of Captain Foley to get it. The tractor beam on Tuesday if we hit 200 likes. We're 11 away from 200 likes. Was the strike built by Starfleet? The portal technology seems to be well integrated into the ship to be an addition to the ship. I doubt it. Doesn't look anything Starfleet at all. Steve was going to kill Raffi while he was forgivable for waving around the head of a dead Romulan, and he deserved to die. Agreed. Oh yes, that makes sense. Thank you. Love to be here. What makes sense, Matthew Ripper? What did I say? I don't know what you're referring to. Worf did himself a dishonor because Sneed did not deserve the honor of being cut down by Worf in combat. Ooh. Paul Hitchcock says, yeah, the pushback on Worf beheading Sneed seemed like a weird complaint. After all, the Klingon captain's story in DS9, Apocalypse Rising, is honestly far more graphic than what Worf did. Matthew Ripper, how do you feel about Captain Riker and Admiral Picard's relationship in this one? Good until the end. I think Riker was a little too hardcore, a little too extreme with his final get off the bridge line. I don't understand it. It's not because he's a shapeshifter. I think that's just a dumb idea. It's just more like PTSD. He's having some issues right now. I think it's a little harsh, but other than that, I thought it was great. The whole you should refer to me as number one. I thought that was a fantastic line. So I'm really liking the interplay between the two of them. But yeah, that last part was a little bit much. Cap on your left when the Titan comes out of the portal. I'm thinking Riker is also a changeling. Yeah, he's not. I don't think so. I've already had this discussion. The Shrike is rumored to be a Cardassian. Makes sense. I'm guessing the portal weapon is going to be based upon study of the Bajoran wormhole or something, most likely shown on display or mentioned in dialogue. Cisco's been slipping intel to Starfleet. Well, the portal weapon's not even important. It was just a ruse to cover the theft of the actual weapon from the Discovery, or from the Daystrom station, which is probably lore. So it's not going to be important at all in the grand scheme of things. I wonder if PTSD is why Riker does not have an active ship command. That could be the case. Could also be the reason that he's having issues with Deanna and his daughter Kestra. The new sword is called a Kurleth. Discovery should have ended after the first episode. Ooh, that's harsh. Riker is actually Thomas Riker. I doubt that. Sneed was literally hold the head of someone he beheaded. What work did to Sneed wasn't terrible. Dan Bevan, look closer to the portal created at the end of Picard Season 1, minus the red ring. How do you join up as crew, says Thomas Macaulay. You just go down and hit that join button. You can pick one of the ranks, and it's like a monthly subscription, so that's like once a month that gets taken out of your account or whatever to support our channel. There's different amounts down there, going from ensign all the way up to Federation Council member. And depending on what you pick, you can see the perks there that you get. And even at the lowliest tier of ensign, which is only like the price of a cup of coffee, essentially, a month, it helps out our channel immensely. And it also gets you assigned to a ship. So at the end of edited videos, you will see the fleet, the Trekyards fleet. You'll see the flybys of the ships with the names on the plaques of where you are serving, which ship you are on. And you can join the Discord server and become part of the community over there. Hang out with your crewmates, the other Trekyardians that are in the chat here, and also us as well on the Discord server. So just hit the join button. Mark says, I think that Riker just seemed lost and he lashed out at Picard, not even truly realizing what he was saying. A changeling wouldn't know about Picard and Crusher flirting for years to tell Jack he watched it. Exactly. How about that Riker and Picard de-aging? Pretty awful. We don't know that Sneed decapitated that Vulcan. It was a Romulan, first of all, but his sanity and importance of trials has been shown dozens of times in all the Star Trek series and even movies. Mr. Captain 93 says, don't hear anyone complaining about the Klingons killing the albino in DS9. Chase Williams says, think about it. Riker is still grieving the loss of his son. Picard just found out he has one, and it doesn't matter. If I were Riker, I would have acted the same way. Riker is trying to help. Yeah, absolutely. Let's stop talking about beheading now, please. That's not important. I don't know why that conversation keeps going. Joined late. Sorry if this has been discussed, but has a changeling assumed the form of Seven or Jack Crusher? No and no. Remember, Riker said, I hope you have this feeling one day. Now he wants to make sure his best friend never feels the loss of a son. That's true. That's absolutely true. Picard should have yelled at Riker, do I look like Jellicoe to you? As Sneed knew Brunt, I wonder why Brunt by Sneed's ashes. Come here. Want to go outside? Want to go out? Go downstairs. Hold on. Classic for real. Can we talk more about Riker being a changeling and why? And that's why Diana was acting like a bitch. No, because Riker's not a changeling. Murray Nathan, if Picard gets together with Crusher again, I'll be spending time in dry. It'll be like spending time in dry dock. I don't know what that means, but oh, puggies. So much for being involved in more advanced society. Shame. beyond between Riker and Picard goes deeper than just officers now. Riker is a big brother and trying to teach Picard a lesson. Could someone join as a member and pay to have one of your pugs become a starship captain? You'd have to join and change your name to either Lola the Pug or Precious the Pug. That's an interesting question. I don't know how we would work that. Peter Lukaku, $5. The real Riker died in a pizza oven accident orchestrated by the link. Did you catch any clues about anything in the end credits? We did a whole live talking about the clues in the end credits. So yes, we did a complete live, a 2-hour live on that. Curtis S. Why can't Moriarty get a synth body at this point? Maybe he'll be rewarded for defeating Laura. There you go. Perfect. Wargod 6. Why TMP phaser banks and not TNG phaser strips? They actually have phaser strips on the Titan. But they also have the ball turrets, which actually aren't ball turrets when you look at the details. It's just a weird design. It's because it was upscaled from the Shangri-La class done by Bill Krause, and they just literally took everything literally over, including the ball turrets and stuff. There are phaser strips on it, though. Colin Barrett. After the Captain Pug idea, I have to ask, do Puggins have their own Starfleet uniforms? They do. Yes, they do. Stop licking the couch. Yes, they both have captain's uniforms. And they also have, there's a TOS science one that was crocheted by my mother-in-law, and a TOS red shirt one, which was crocheted by her as well. So yeah, they have captain's uniforms and science and security for TOS. So yes, they do have those. Asking for a lot, I know, but ever since that Klingon nod with the cloaking device in the end credits, boy, I want to see an interaction with the Klingon crew somewhere. That'd be cool. I really do like the design of the Titan A, but then again, the Reapit Enterprise is my favorite. Jarzia said, Trekyards, I sent a PayPal. Ooh, let me see. Let me see what your PayPal says, my friend. Inbox. Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay. You got money. $10. Thank you so much. I don't like the last scene because it felt completely off-brand for Riker. Either he's still in first officer mode after all these years, and as loyal as he ever was, or he's his own captain and would never bow to pressure from Picard, in which case he'd own his command decision and not try to blame someone else. Either way, after all those years as an XO captain, he knows damn well you don't pull something like that in front of the crew. I 100% agree with everything you just said there. 100%. You're absolutely right. Did anyone know Disco was canceled? Yes, we found out earlier today. Grant McGregor, $5. $75 will be yours if Riker is not a changeling by the end of the season. Okay. Pay up now. Fleet Paw, make a note of that. Grant McGregor said that $75 bet. If Riker is a changeling, I don't get the money. If he's not a changeling, $75 is ours. My account, my choice. Disco is canceled? Yep. Season 5 is going to be the last season. The essential question that has this show given us anything deeper to consider, or is it just a genetic derivative? Oh my god, derivative sci-fi action show. I don't think it's given us anything deeper to consider yet. Put it that way. My favorite line from this week is beheadings are on Wednesday. Yes. Colin Barrett, my only gripe with the Titan so far is that we are told it is the most maneuverable ship in service, but can't seem to turn out of the way of giant portals. Exactly. And I said that to Samuel. Once the portal opens, just like, go down, go. Like, It's like, look, there's a big portal. Let's keep moving towards it and into it. No, it's just stupid. Quantum torpedo is expensive to make. In contrast to money, it requires significant resources and engineering to manufacture. War God 6. Riker wasn't alone enough to regenerate if he was a changeling. Exactly. He's not a changeling. Unless the real Riker got knocked out on the way to the bridge and got shoved in a closet, and then the changeling assumed the shape of Riker. I might buy that. But he was on the bridge the entire time, pretty much. So, no, I don't buy that at the same time. Joseph Barbado puts in $1 with a popcorn. He's eating some popcorn. Great. If any of them are changeling, it's Troy. They needed a way to make her relevant to the story. Everyone else in TNG crew is relevant in some way. Troy is just, as of yet, just isn't. This makes me wish this was season 1. This should have been season 1, in my opinion, yeah. I thought at one point they said they were being pulled into the portal. I mean, they might have said that. I'll have to go back and listen. That would make sense, actually. Terry Metalis was a changeling, but then they found the real one just in time for season 3. Glad I wasn't the only one who thought this was supposed to be a more maneuverable Starfleet ship. Bradley Thomas throws in $5. Thank you so much. Forget quantum torpedoes. Where are the transphasic torpedoes and armor that Voyager used in Endgame? Well, that would be expensive and hard to roll out over the fleet because that was advanced technology. It's like the Doctor's mobile emitter. It was 26th century technology. It's future tech. It's not very easily replicable. Or maybe it just can't be replicated at this point. So, yeah. Plus, then you got a God fleet, and it's just not even fun anymore at that point. Now that I think about it, torpedoes can be remotely detonated before impact. Why did the Titans simply not detonate the torpedoes when they realized they were coming towards them? I don't know. Weapons officer was in too much of shock, I guess. Peter Lukaku, heading to London soon. Any good pizza places around? You're coming to this London? London, Ontario? Good pizza places. That was a real fucking shift of tone. Let me think. Pizza Nova is really good. Boston Pizza. Oh, Boston Pizza is fantastic. But it's not like a typical pizza chain. It's like a sit-down restaurant. Boston Pizza has a lot of really good pasta and stuff, but they have some really remarkable pizzas. So I would suggest that one. Yeah. Jarzia throws in $5. Thank you so much. I wonder if they'll have a changeling use Joseph Sisko's idea of sucking someone's blood out to get around the blood test. How come Ensign LaForge is nicknamed Crash for crashing a shuttle when Troy crashed a freaking Galaxy-class ship? Because she did it twice, 2 shuttles, and both in like training, like in the academy. That's why. I don't think remote detonation is standard for torpedoes. Otherwise, earlier in the episode, they wouldn't have used phasers to detonate the torpedo in front of the Shrike. Good point. Dan Bevan, I suppose by TNG standards, the Titan is insanely maneuverable. Every evasive maneuver in TNG was the ship sitting still. At least the Titan moves a bit, although granted, was expecting more. Brian Stewart, the pedal appeared and the torpedoes came out. The portal appeared and the torpedoes came out too fast that they had time to react. Colin says, "Oh, there are names for Troy, but repeating them here would get one banned from YouTube." Classics for real. Is there a Toronto's Burgers in Boston? I don't know. Boston Pizza is a Canadian company, just for the record, even though it's called Boston Pizza. A really fucking great restaurant chain here. David Bishop, Riker doesn't even grab the whiskey to take home to Deanna. You had one job. That's funny. Coming soon to London, Riker's Pizzeria. Brian Stewart agreed. Also possible there's signal loss when torpedoes cross the event horizon. Do you think Geordi's daughter will perform the emergency Geordi roll maneuver? Maybe. It should do something cool. Since when is the Portal game part of Trek? That's lame. Since it was new quantum tunneling tech that was stolen, but it was researched and stored at the Daystrom station and then stolen. That's why, and it's not lame. You got to keep coming up with new things, otherwise. War God 6, Episode 1. Did Ensign Harry Kim get in trouble for leaving his post guarding the shuttles? Classic for real. Just for the record, Riker's Pizzeria is actually a subsidiary of Guinan's 10 Forward Bar. I would go there. I would go to 10. I would do the pizzeria and I would do the bar. I mean, that would be awesome. There's 197 likes. We're only 3 likes away from 200. Can we get 3 more people? 3 people that haven't hit that like button to give it a like right now. I'd really appreciate that. And honestly, another $5 in super chats would be amazing as well. We're just at a peak of a really great number for super chats. So another $5 would clinch it. That'd be amazing. And yeah, so Quantum Tunnel by Acme. That's funny. Portal tech in Star Trek is not new. Starfleet Romulans and the Dominion are now interested in Iconium portal tech. Jarzia throws in the $5 I was asking for. Also, Shaw really wasn't thinking with portals. Should have fired a full spread of torpedoes out the aft launchers as soon as they passed through. The Sci-Fi and Fantasy Cast says, can someone please explain to me why the saucer of the Titan looks like it's from the motion picture? Because the way the ship was designed. It's a retro design style that Starfleet incorporated. If you ask Terry Matalas, the showrunner, that's what he'll tell you. It's also because it was based on Bill Krause's original design for the Shangri-La class, which was a kit bash of the USS, of the original Constitution class. Refit. Okay, here, wake up. This Lola. Lola's having a dream. She's like barking in her dream. So yeah, it was actually the Shangri-La class was like same size as the Constitution class refit, but obviously different design. And it was done by my good friend Bill Krause, who I've been going to Wonderfest with for like 7 years now, who is now working on the show. So they took his Shangri-La class design and upscaled it without changing any of the dimensions of the windows or anything. Made it like twice as big as it should be for that window scale, but that's okay. So that's why it also has ball turrets and phaser strips. So it's a weird anomaly. Just look past the design and just enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, Terry Matalas, the showrunner, will tell you that Starfleet incorporated a retro design style, going back to the more classic look. Classic for real. I know who's really a changeling, though. Whoever thinks Discovery is actually good. Wow. Eggsy, TWI's fam, Trek, Jedi. Hi, Captain Foley. You rock, brother. Thank you, Eggsy. You rock as well. May the Force be with you, and also with you. Fleet Paw. No one had seen the whole season yet, except probably the cast and producers. I take what Gary says as with a massive grain of salt. No one has seen the whole season yet. You're actually wrong, Fleet Paw. Rob Burnett has for sure. Nerdrotic has. Dave Cullen has. Quite a few people have seen the entire season. Don't ask me how, but they've seen it. All 10 episodes. So they do know what they're talking about in that regard. Peter the Caco, $5. Snipey, strike, snipe 3 times fast. Snipey strike snipe. Snipey strike snipe. I can't. That's impossible. Who's having a bad dream? That would be Lola. Riker was captain, and that was Picard's idea to attack. Chase says, my buddy and I were talking about starting a bar and calling it 10 Forward a few years ago. Is Lola okay? Yes, she's okay, but she's dreaming again. She might go back into barking in her sleep again. Her eyes are kind of half open, but she's like twitching, and you can tell she's dreaming. Her eyes are darting back and forth. The Titan is the 25th century's 2005 Ford Mustang. Ew. Captain Foley, do you know Bernd Schneider of AstraZeneca? What's your opinion of his design collection? I don't know him personally, no. I love the stuff that's on there. Fleet Paw, throw in Bill Cross's Shangri-La design. Our video we did on it years ago with Bill himself on the show. So go check that out. Tony Armstrong throws in $5. Here late. Has anyone brought up that the other things stolen from Daystrom will probably end up being Moriarty and Lore? Yes, that's been talked about quite a few times. And thank you, Tony. That is your first super chat. It says celebrate the first super chat from Tony Armstrong. So thank you, Tony. Much appreciated. So Paul Hitchcock. Bill Krause's design sensibility is exactly what the late 24th, early 25th century design aesthetic needed. All due respect to Sternbach and Eves. Yes, good to change things up. Classic for real. Neurotic only got to see the whole season because he was able to prove that he's actually a changeling. Chaplin says, why can we forgive the radically illogical 100-year-old ship design but not dismiss a little notch in Mandalorian's helmet? Sternbach defined the 24th century. He did. The episode was so good, it was best. It was the best. The episode was so good, it was the best. Did Worf kill the changeling? If you don't see it. No, he didn't kill the changeling at all. The sci-fi and fantasy cast says, okay, thank you, and see you at Wonderfest. You're going to be at Wonderfest? Have I met you before at Wonderfest? I'll see you there. Mr. Captain 93, how did Starfleet not ever name two ships George and Gracie? That's a good question. Dustin D, could the Shrike be from the evil Starfleet and Federation Galactic Empire universe? Anything's possible. Sure. I don't think so, but sure. Fleet Paw throws in $2. I stand corrected. Thought they only showed 6 episodes. Initially, yeah, Dave Cullen only got 6 initially, and then like a few days later, he came back and said, yeah, I actually saw the last 4. Don't ask me how. But I think I know how Rob Burnett saw them all. I'm not sure how Nerdrotic saw them, but there's a few people that have seen them. We didn't want to see them, so, it's more fun to speculate and kind of go week to week. But yes, some people have seen all 10 episodes, so. News came out today. Yes, everybody knows Daniel. Militaries don't design aircraft or warships to be retro just out of fashion. That's true. I'm just telling you what the producer said. It's just that's the way it is. Do we agree with it? Nope. Because it's stupid. It shouldn't be upscaled like that. If you're going to upscale the ship design, fix the fucking windows. That's the thing JJ did wrong. The JJ Prize was originally designed to be the correct size for the Enterprise. So the windows are all to scale perfectly. Then JJ said, it's not big enough. I'm a Star Wars guy. The ship should be bigger. Double the size of that ship. And they're like, we can't because the windows are scaled to a certain size per deck. We'd have to redo all the windows and everything. He's like, it doesn't matter, just upscale it. So the JJ Prize is twice as big with these huge fucking windows. And that's exactly what they did with the Titan, which is fucking irritating because it shouldn't be like that. Yes, it's a major thorn in my side, but it is what it is. We have to go with it. I don't even think Bill Krause is happy about it. It's his design. It looks fantastic, but it should be half the size it is to match those aesthetics. So it is what it is. That's what the producers say. It's a design aesthetic choice. Terry Metalis did it because he loves that style. He loves the old that old look of the refit Connie. He wanted to give that to the fans for season 3 so that, He wanted to do season 3 right and give them something that they would really like. So he made the Titan that. That's the answer. Is it acceptable? It is what it is. Daystream hopefully still has my porn collection under lock and key. Those evil holograms. Brian Stewart, not a Mustang fan? Fuck no. Mustangs are disgusting. I'm a Camaro owner, so I can't like Mustangs. It's a law here. So, did you notice Worf's nemesis dolphin phaser he killed the changeling with? Yes, and so did Samuel. Samuel had a bit of a hard-on from seeing that. Classic for real, but seriously, I feel the Titan A canonizes how the TOS Enterprise can be exactly the same as the TMP Enterprise. Captain Foley, what are your potential spin-offs you expect from the ends of Discovery and Picard? We've talked about those quite a bit. I would love a Captain Shaw and 7 show. I mean, I can see Raffi go into a Section 31 show. Yeah, talked about it quite a bit. I did notice the Next Generation phaser. Yay. Mark says, oh, I thought he did kill the changeling with the dolphin phaser. Well, yeah, after... I thought you meant when he was sitting in the chair and he put his hands on it and it, like, changed. He didn't do that. He didn't cause that. Yes, he did fry it with the phaser. Absolutely. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Remember when the guy turned back into the gelatinous state? Worf looked like he vaporized it. He did. Slaith, the Space Marine. They got to see the episodes because they know all the different ways to perform umoks. And they proved that they were changelings. Are you happy with the plot and pacing of this season so far? Yes. Hope we get an Enterprise A and other Fleet Museum ships at some point in the series. You will. You will definitely get an Enterprise A, and you will get a Fleet Museum with some really good ships in it. Trust me. Dan Bevan got me thinking. You're too late. We're everywhere. And all the inferences of changeling infiltration in DS9. Did these guys just go home or deeper hiding for another day? Dominion thinks long term. They probably way more than 4 on Earth. Remember the original thing is we weren't sure how many were on Earth. There was only like 4 changelings on Earth and they caused all that havoc. Yeah, there's probably a lot more now. So I noticed I predicted lower or the other value. Yeah, whatever. I wish Jared simply said that there was an older design and then there would be no issue. I know. I agree with you. And not a refit of the fucking Titan, the Luna class. Peter Lukaku, $2. This is for Squadron Course last slot. Thank you, Peter. That one's back in. You know what sucks? The Enterprise F was commissioned in 2386, and when we see it, it will be a mothball. What a waste. Who gives a shit? You can play with it all you like in Star Trek Online. If that really was what gets you off, is seeing the Enterprise F, go play with it in Star Trek Online. I have no problem with it being decommissioned after 15 years. I love that that's kind of a thing. It's kind of like, yeah, fucking the Enterprise D only lasted 8 years. It got destroyed. So, I mean, flagships, they take a beating. So, I think it's fine. I understand, Cap. I'm a Mopar guy. Oh, so you're Mopar or no car? Do you think they may mention Odo this season? They already did. Daniel, they fucking mentioned him in this episode. Worf said, a very honorable man from the Great Link contacted me and said there was a rogue element of changelings. He was already mentioned, not by name. He didn't say Odo, but he said a very honorable man. Not to worry. The Titan may be drifting towards oblivion, but the Dolphins' incitation ops will save the day. Paul Hitchcock. My understanding is Burnett saw all 10 episodes well before anyone else saw anything. Reviewers the week of the premiere, and then Cullen, Nerdrotic, and others saw the episodes. It's pretty much exactly what happened. Yeah. And I was talking to Rob Burnett like months ago about when he first saw them. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you how he saw them because I'm not sure I 100% believe him, but it's not important. He saw all 10. So the Enterprise A still exists. Yes, it was decommissioned. It didn't get destroyed. You'll see it. You'll see it probably in episode 6 of this season. Let's put it that way. Calling it now. Maybe we'll get J.G. Hertzler as Lass. Was Martia from Star Trek 6 from the Great Link? No, she was Kamaloid. She wasn't a changeling. She was different. She was a shapeshifter, but she was not one of the changelings from the Delta Quadrant. Peter Lukaku, $2. The changeling morph looked gross, guts and all. Yeah, it looked like fucking meat and fat. It was disgusting. So I only have to avoid spoilers for 3 more weeks. Okay, what? Dan Bevan, any other ships? Sure. Seems like a waste, but I imagine the standout ships, especially the Enterprise, get special treatment. Doesn't do to have a 50-year-old flagship. I have to keep those guys with the times. Yeah, the flagship is always the best and newest. Chaplain, Captain Foley, is the L-Cards folder public on your channel? No, it's not, actually. And there's a reason for that. Daniel's Hot Topics. Saw cool pics of the bridge of the Enterprise F in Star Trek Online. It's 2 decks big, and it is so big I doubt they will show it in Picard because it would be too expensive to show a bridge that big. Yes, it is 2 decks. The Changeling plot reinforces my hypothesis that Shaw was originally written as Cisco. Well, that'd be cool. I bet Picard's Enterprise F bridge is much smaller because of the show's cheap. Enterprise E in museum, and here are the weld lines when Picard around the scimitar. LOL, if Enterprise A shows up as a hero ship to help out, I'd wet myself. It won't show up as a hero ship. It's going to be in one of the docking rings. It's just one of the ships there. Captain Foley, would you ever do a Trek fan film? Yes, I've already done a few. I've had an appearance in one of the no-budget productions ones. I've done a voiceover for 3 of them, and there's going to be more on the way where I'm actually like as Captain Foley. So yes. Brian Stewart, I love the Enterprise F, but I'm really hoping that we get a new G at the end. I can think of at least 3 different series I want in this time. Raffi and Worf, Titan, and with more Shaw and 7 Enterprise. Well, we get J.G. Hertzler to do Lower Decks. I have heard that if you get the actor to make an appearance in any of the new shows, it's easier to bring them back again, and recent contracts exist. Kudos to Deanna Meyer. Commander Denatra apparently has a system named after her. The Denatra system's been around for a long time. It goes back to Beta Can. It goes back to Starfleet Battles, if I recall correctly. The Denatra system's been around for a long time. Her character was named after the Denatra system, I believe. Zachary Gibbons. I think what will happen when they fall into the gravity well is that they will be faced with the ghosts of their past and will have to fight their way out of it. It just seems stupid. They're not going to do that. That no-budget production appearance was amazing. It was only a short one. I don't even know the name of the episode it was in. So, Enterprise B in the museum, and there's the tractor beam finally installed. Camera snap. That's funny. Daniel's Hot Topics. If they create a new Enterprise at the end of the season, what do you want from it, or what tech would you like it to have? I would love temporal drive. Temporal drive is an interesting idea. I don't know. I just want it to be a fucking cool looking ship. Peter Lukaku, $5. Did you pick up the PS5 VR goggles? Yes, I have the PS VR 2. I've been streaming a few games over the past week, so check those out. The videos are there. Have you seen Of Gods and Men? What do you think of it? Yes, it was one of the first fan films. It's fantastic. I love the cast they got for it. Some of the effects are fantastic. You get to see a Constitution class, the original one, do a saucer separation. You get to see Federation class dreadnoughts. I think that's a fantastic fan film. It's a little slow in spots, but the actors they got on board you can't complain about. So Enterprise C in a jar at the museum. How are the bird face aliens on Vedek's ship? How are they? I don't know. They're probably very well. If as long as they get a lot of bird seed, they're fine. Bradley Thomas, do you think we'll get some surprise cameos like we did with Wesley in season 2? Yes, we're absolutely going to get surprise cameos throughout this season. Zachary Gibbons, what Star Trek shows do you think would replace Discovery? Section 31 show, Starfleet Academy show, the Star Trek Titan show. There's so many that could do it. They're not necessarily looking for replacements for a show or for the show, because there are other shows currently running, so they don't need to scramble to get anything out. But there's a lot of potential there for shows that could fill that gap, if they're even going to consider it a gap. I saw Star Trek Gods of Men. It was okay, but it was a bit cheap. They could have spent a little bit more. For fuck's sakes, Daniel, this was like one of the first fan films years ago. And cheap. They had fucking Nichelle Nichols. They had Captain Harriman, the Enterprise B. Alan Ruck, sorry. They had Walter Koenig. They had Garrett Wang. They had Chase Masterson. They had, I think J.G. Hertzler was in that. Who played the Klingon? Yeah, they had J.G. Hertzler, I believe. So, cheap or not, they had a lot of the original actors. What do you want from a fan film? Jesus Christ. You can't make some people happy. Okay. I'm not sure the bird aliens taste good when they're roasted and pasted properly. I think people get too caught up with the Enterprise and Legacy characters. As long as the universe feels the same, great ship, great characters, sign me up. Worked with the 90s with Voyager and DS9. I love you, Dan. I agree. I don't mind new Star Trek content, to be honest. Heck, I don't even mind the first ever Star Trek show for preschoolers, a la Dora the Explorer. The fuck are you talking about, Donnie? Because that is not what Prodigy is, if that's what you're... Wow. Enterprise is in a glass bottle, shrunk with a shrink ray. Oh, that might be a secret weapon. Shrink the Federation fleet. Pew pew tiny ships. Is there any lore that explains Enterprise C's survival? No. Voltron fan here. Go Voltron Force. Slav the Space Marine. The sets look brilliant and had the era-appropriate lighting. Fleetpaw says, I would watch the hell out of a Titan series with Shaw and Seven. Come on. Come on. Go on up. Go on up. Jump up. There you go. Sorry, Dot just re-entered the chat. They had Stone, too. Yes, they did. Daniel says, Captain Foley, do you think we will see the NX-01 Enterprise? That will finally show people Enterprise as canon. Yes, you will see the Enterprise NX-01, actually the SS Enterprise. I bet you'll see the refit NX-01. Calling it now. If Shaw survives, a Titan show might be cool. I think there needs to be a Ferengi-centric show on Paramount Plus focusing on Rom and Quark. I heard Dora the Explorer as Duras the Explorer. That's great. Jonathan Earl says, I just read a review of a YouTuber. He theorized that the main bad guy character could be a future guy from Star Trek Enterprise, played by Scott Bakula. That'd be awesome. Jack Stafford of Gods and Men had the best story of any Trek in the past 15 years, in my opinion. Oh yeah, they also had Charlie X back for that one as well. Fleetpaw, Donnie, I must only say this once. Prodigy is not a preschool or kids show. It's fucking very true. Colin Barrett, the Titan sets are amazing. If one could see them. 25th century light bulbs are not that great. More animated Trek series would be cool. I agree. All right. I think I'm going to call it there, guys. 221 likes is amazing. Peter Lakako just threw in $2. You seem to know more somehow than you're letting on. Peter, we've been saying this for fucking months. For the past year and a half, people have been sharing stuff with us about this season. We haven't seen the episodes. We're not sure of the exact plot lines, but we do see visuals. We do see things that people share with us because they like Trekyards, they know Trekyards, and they know that we are ship-focused and ship-centric. So anything in that regard, we have seen things of from various sources. I will not say who, but quite a few different people behind the scenes have shared things with us that we've known for months. And they're just little plot elements, or little story elements, or little visuals that we know are coming. We don't know where they fit in. We don't know when they fit in. It's kind of shitty knowing them and not being able to say anything, first of all. Secondly, it's one of the reasons we didn't want to see the first 6 episodes, because we like to speculate, we like to have fun, we like to have these discussions and see where the story's going, see if we can figure it out, have these discussions. If we knew everything that was happening, that wouldn't be as fun. That being said, we do get shown things that are kind of spoilery in some regards, and I think that's great. I think it's cool. Sometimes we are asked if we want to see it. Other times we just get shown it. And it's like, oh, well, thank you for spoiling that for us. That's awesome. But okay, now we got that to look forward to. Where's that going to fit in? So our brain's kind of always racing to figure out where it's going to be put in. But at the same time, our speculations are all legit. We actually don't know the exact story that's going to happen. But we do know certain things that visually you're going to see. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Before you leave, I just want to say, please let Hawkins know that I called everything during this chat last week. Sure, I will do that. Fleet Paw, Swiftback throws in $2. Foley, I am a man of mystery. Foley, a man of mystery who knows things. Yes. Todd Walker, wish you, the Pugs, and Sylvia a happy good night. Thank you very much, Todd. Much appreciated. Anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually starting an hour early because there's a lot to talk about and break down in this episode. So most of these episodes are going to be a 3-hour-long full breakdown on Friday. So tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that. If you're here right now and you want to send a super chat as a closeout, please do. If you're watching this after the fact and want to send a super thanks, please do. Consider hitting the join button. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the notification bell icon. Do all that stuff. Help us out in any way you can. Just share the Trekyards word. Share it with people you think might enjoy it. Star Trek fans, different groups. Please share our content. We appreciate that. Anything you can do to help us out is amazing. So until next time, I'm Captain Foley. Live long and prosper, everybody. Have yourselves a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, we got edited content all weekend and all next week. Lots of cool stuff. So stay tuned. We're always here and we're always doing things. So help us out in any way you can.